What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Verdependent podcast, where we depend on the Verde and Black for our everyday vibes. This week, we celebrate Austin's 1-0 win at LAFC. We recap opening weekend of NWSL and preview our first ever match against San Diego FC before closing out the episode with a Stoppage time rundown of the hottest Austin FC, World Footy, and NWSL storylines of the last week. So,
oh yeah,
I'm Logan Bartlett.
What's up, everyone? This is Paul Fletes.
And we had a good time this weekend, man. We were out at the ABW
Sprinkle Valley cutoff.
Valley. I was like, Sprinkle
Road.
Yeah, at that watch party. It was a good time. We held it down with our ladies and with my dad and little brother.
Mm-hmm. And by held it down, you mean all of the things that were flying around because of the wind,
literally
right?
held down our surroundings to stop.
That's what I thought too.
Them away. Exactly, man. Yeah, that was a good time, man. That was a good show out. What did you like about it?
Yeah, no, I thought it was great, man. I felt like the weather was perfect. It felt like a lot of Austin FC's, local fans wanted to get out and just kind of be around other folks to watch this game. And, it was a good time. And, I like chilling with my boy and his people. So good to see you, boy.
Yeah, it was a good time, man.
Yeah.
It was a good show out, too. There's a poop ton of people.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking with some of our friends around Sheila came by and we were chatting with her and just saying good show out. A lot of new faces, a lot of people referencing the podcast like ours and North End, Moon Tower, etc., who are hyping this up and spreading the word.
Yeah.
And so it was good to hear that it's working,
Yeah.
So, all right, man, it's this time of the episode. Preheated takes. Paul,
let's get it, dude.
Give me your preheated take looking ahead to this weekend.
I've got you, man. It's a positive one, kind of riding off the momentum of last week, but
I like it.
I have us scoring our first goal from the run of play against San Diego at Q2 on Sunday.
Yep. I like that. I like that. And I like that because my preheated take is that Brandon Vasquez bags his first goal of the year against San Diego.
Okay.
And so I think those go hand in hand because I think that's going to happen in the run of play.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah.
How do you think it happens? How do you envision this goal?
I was going back and forth between Bukhari and BV9, being the first ones to go. Because generally it has been like Bukhari has had a little bit more of the look at goal. Right. But Brandon's also had his moments, but he's also just doing a lot of work. He's being asked to kind of drop in a little bit at times to do the work in the middle of the pitch. But I think Owen Wolf's actually going to get the first one, dude.
Okay. I mean, hey, boy's been showing out.
Yeah.
He's been cooking.
Yeah.
So
he said, enough of the assists. Let me get this thing real quick.
Exactly.
And show you how it's done, boys.
Man, I like that. I'm rocking with BB9 myself. Because he deserves it, right?
Of
course. He has the
course.
quality to get this goal, and I think it hopefully comes together in this game. But also, it's against his hometown team, right? I mean, obviously they're brand new, but he's from San Diego.
Correct. Little Cali boy.
And I think it would mean something. Like he wants to show, his city, both his city in Austin, but also his childhood city in San Diego, that he means business. And I think that having Pochettino at the game last week in LA definitely lit a fire under him a little bit of like, okay, I'm like, they're here to look at me, among others, but to look at me, right?
Yeah.
Like I need to be on this roster moving forward. So I think that motivation gets him going.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, let's talk about LAFC. So Austin earned their first away win on Saturday at LAFC, registering a shutout in the process. Let's start with the lineup, Paul, where we saw a number of changes, both forced by injury and decided by the manager. Run through those changes for us and give us your thoughts.
Yeah, for sure. So I think instead of just doing the whole 11, we'll just go ahead and do the changes mostly. But
Yeah.
In for midfield, we had Danny coming off the lineup, and then Sabovic was starting in.
Yep.
On the wing, we had Owen coming in for Obrion. And then later on in the game, we had, or excuse me, not later on, but both Galley and Svatak were in for Dessler and Julio Cascante.
Yes.
So I felt like, I mean, obviously, Galley, well-deserved match week 11, right, for pocketing Buanga and just all of the hustle that he created. If I'm not mistaken, I think he he had the run up that kind of put the cross in that sets up the corner for our scoring corner kick, if I'm not mistaken.
So yeah, Owen Wolf threw the cross in or set up the play that caused the corner, if I'm not mistaken. But I think it would have been down that right side.
From that,
so yeah.
Anyway, all that to say, I mean, we can get into it a little bit more, but just all really great defensive efforts from all 11 players. So
yeah, Svatok too. I think he showed out after what many would say was him struggling.
We could say that
in his debut, us as well, right?
Yeah,
he struggled for sure, and he found his footing quick. In this game, he was a lot more aggressive. Obviously, the team very clearly were running out of defensive game plan, right?
Sure.
This is their play style this game. They were going to defend. They were going to defend as a unit, all 10 guys being active. To that point, I think the DPs really showed their mettle when it came to that defensive work rate.
Yes.
All 3 guys were, Vasquez on the press. Anytime the ball would go, deeper into the midfield or back out as LAFC had possession, and they're no longer the attacking third. They're recycling. BV9's there to make a mess of it, cause some pressure. Uzuni was getting all the way in the box and putting pressure on guys all the way to the byline. Bukhari was all the way around that left side, causing havoc and making dudes run. So I think they showed out, man. I think this team effort really it inspired me. It was motivating, I think, for the guys too, to see like, hey, we can lock down the best clubs in the league right now.
Right.
Yeah, man. To that point, Austin yielded possession in this game, right? They bunkered down. They had just 29% possession on the game, the lowest in any game in club history. LAFC registered just 3 shots on target, despite their heavy possession advantage. So, going on this same theme defensively, what stood out to you, man? Like, what really stood out in this game that surprised you?
Yeah, I think you've heard it here already. Like we've mentioned this in terms of like team defense. Other outlets have already mentioned how great the showing was from the 4-4-2 and just everyone's commitment to dropping behind the ball and making sure that every possible like passing lane was clogged and making sure that pressure was on people that were on the ball for too long. I mean, we can talk a little bit about Cengiz Under for a little bit, but beyond him
he had some chances.
and Denny, right? Like no one else really had too much of a impact offensively for LAFC, which is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, ultimately, I mean, I think for me, again, it's all across that back line. From Galley, both Svatak and Brandon Heinz-Eyck. I mean, that clearance toward the end there where he kind of gets down low and parries that shot off. It was looking good, man.
Yeah, I agree. I think we put
and
LAFC
Biro too, right? I mean,
yeah, of course.
Rose
the whole back line plus Ilie, guys like Uzuni tracking back as well. I think we did a good job of putting LAFC in tough positions. Right, they're going to get their shots off.
Yes,
that's a guarantee, but I think the team did a really good job of dictating where the shots came from, right? Creating tough angles, saying, if you're going to score this goal, you're going to score this goal, right? Like you're going to have to put it in perfect place. And we're going to bet that that's not going to happen. And it didn't, right? Yeah. You mentioned Under. He had a couple good chances that went just wide. Some nice curlers from the edge of the box and around, but XG would say those are low percentage chances, right?
Sure.
And I think the team did a good job of forcing those tough chances where you really have to score a worldie of a goal to make it count.
Yeah.
Something that I remember mentioning, obviously in the watch party, we were distracted, having a good time talking. We were a little further back. So we caught the game in pieces. But I remember you specifically mentioning Danny, right? So Danny comes off the bench in the 70th minute or something, 60th minute.
Yeah.
I thought real quick note, I thought Savage had a great game. He's definitely a presence in that midfield. But Danny came on and you were hyping. You were super hyped up. You're like, dude, that's what we need, bro. Super sub Danny. Let him come in, fresh legs, swarm dudes on defense, get the ball and get out of tough spaces on offense. I thought that was nice. So what do you think of those subs, right? Like Danny coming in and how they helped carry the game in to the end?
So, I mean, I think it's just it's a testament to, the quality that's coming off the bench now, where we used to have Danny as a starter, and a lot can be said about his qualities, right? Breaking lines, dribbling out of tight spaces and stuff like this. But for him to be able to relieve, a Basard Savovic,
Yeah.
who put in work, it's just one of those things where it's like, it's nice to see that as a club where we're
Yeah.
trending in that direction where the pieces that are coming off the bench, still have a really high quality and
Yeah.
are able to see games through. And so, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, he did have a little bit of a momentary lapse. That's a thing, still a young player. It's going to happen. And as much as everyone doesn't want that to happen, it's, it's just,
Yeah.
it's
Almost
football,
led
man.
to a goal
Sometimes,
there, but
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
Danny's still Danny,
exactly.
like he's going to make some gaffes, but he's going to do his thing as well.
For sure.
I remember coming into this season. I mean, this was a month. I remember like it's 8 months ago. Just a few weeks ago, we're chatting about this season and the midfield specifically, right? We have 5 solid options, but we were missing that cam. Uzuni, himself has come in and kind of played that central role as well in the 4-4-2. So we don't need the central attacking midfielder. Him and Vasquez have done a good job of dropping down. But all that to say is these 5 midfielders, right? Ilie, Danny, Sabovic, Doobie, and Owen, right? Who's playing in the midfield as well.
Yeah.
Am I missing someone? 1, 2, 3, 4.
I feel like those are that's.
Yeah. Owen obviously played in the, or assuming he played in the wing last game, according to the 4-4-2 that we saw, but he's still playing centrally. Like those 5 guys do a good job of covering that midfield role. And I'm excited to see how they come together. Cause you're right. We have good quality off the bench now.
Yeah.
And it's exciting to see, they're going to swap out game to game as the lineup and as the matchup sees fit. So
for sure.
Offense got the job done, right? We nabbed that goal in the 11th minute off the corner that Biru slotted in underneath the diving Lloris. Austin also created a number of good opportunities at goal throughout the game. And we're unlucky not to come out with 2 or 3.
Right.
What did you like from, well, let's start with the $30 million attack, right? What did you like from our DPs, what they were doing? And let's start there.
Yeah. So I think it's literally everything but scoring goals. Like I look at how Brandon was moving, how Zuni was moving. Again, it's just looking at him running all over the place and tracking that ball down. It was really encouraging to see because, one could say that as the club's highest earner or like, club record signing, it's one of those things where like he's going to do the messy thing where he's like just calmly waiting for his time to strike, but no, he wants to get after it, which is awesome. But I think for me, man, it's literally the intensity. You see Brandon in there, like putting in some challenges, trying to get that ball back, and it's like, hell yeah, man! Like you said earlier, he deserves a goal at this point, and it's gonna come. But yeah, I mean their work outside of the 18-yard box it's good. Like
you look at Vasquez's heat map. They showed it in the 75th minute or something like that.
Yeah.
But you look at after the game, like he was literally all over the field from box to box, heavy in the midfield as well. He did a great job coming down and connecting, dropping back into the midfield, connecting for the offense, moving the ball and making runs. Uzuni, he's crazy, man. Like the way that he is able to move the defense here and there, like just in his darts across. Even just in the few games he's played, he was earning those opportunities and getting into good spots.
Right.
And that was awesome to see, dude. He had those 2 chances within that 60-second span in the second half.
Yeah.
That
and Owen kind of combining.
Yeah. Both should have gone in.
Yeah.
Right. He's within 10 yards both times. One gets blocked, one goes wide or whatever, or goes over. Those chances will start falling. Yeah, I'm excited to see what that looks like, bro. Because he's knocking on the door.
Yeah.
Just already. And he's like, he's got that fire, man. It's exciting to see. But yeah, you mentioned Owen, dude. Owen's showing out this year, man. He was creating chances left and right.
And let's not get it twisted. This is not us saying that he's, a Sebastian Driussi regen or anything like this. Clearly, like there are still moments where, he's, as much as I would really like to see more of a through or kind of like slip pass from Owen, in some moments whenever the run calls for it. But I mean, the kid is 20, right? 20 years old, if 19? I'm not mistaken.
19 or 20?
Or 19. What? Yeah. Bro, what exact, like still can't drink legally. You know what I'm saying? Like he's that young. And
I mean, shit,
Yeah,
what
I
dreams
think
he look like when he was 19?
right, bro. Um, yeah, it's
You never
just
know.
it's a good thing. It's a good thing, and
No, it is. It is.
I still think between him and Danny, those are going to be our biggest, you know, sales, you know,
Yeah.
for big money coming. If not this summer, very
In years
soon.
to come. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. Owens definitely will earn whatever paycheck he gets.
yeah,
Hopefully, it's with us for the, the in the short term. The next
yeah.
few years, stay around Austin,
Hmm.
get the bag, show out, win us a
Right,
cup, and then
right,
you
for
can
sure.
go. No,
Yeah,
it was a good game though, man. It was a gritty win,
right.
a statement win to start the year, right? 1-0 on LAFC at home.
Yeah,
Um, Neither of us had that prediction, so shout out to the boys.
yeah.
Good game. Let's look
GG's.
at NWSL, man.
Let's
It's
do it.
halftime. So the NWSL season kicked off this past weekend. Let's recap the biggest win and our
Yep.
favorite games of this past weekend, and then we'll
Hmm.
look ahead to our most anticipated match of the upcoming slate of games.
Gotcha.
Starting first, the biggest win of the week was Orlando Pride's 6-0 shellacking of Chicago Stars.
Yeah.
Paul, what happened there?
Brother, I mean, it was one of those things where Chicago came in not fully ready to go. I think, what was it? Did we hear that Mallory Swanson was not going to be
Correct.
joining them? I think a couple days beforehand, citing
Yep.
personal reasons. When you lose a key player like that, well, I say lose, but she hasn't been with the club for some time now. But it's one of those things where it doesn't give good vibes. And so Orlando are
Yeah.
coming in, reigning champs, and they just decide to open up, with a force 6-0. I think Barbara Banda, I think, had a brace and like an assist or something like that. I
Yeah.
totally forgot to set up my NWSL fantasy team for this first week, and I was so upset, dude, because like
Yeah.
Banda would have obviously been the clear pick here.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was massive, dude. 6-0 to
I was
open up.
seeing it's crazy, man. I was seeing tweets and articles already this week, as of yesterday and today, that it's already a 2-woman race for MVP. Barbara Banda and another name that I'm not
Timwa
recalling. But
Chimwinga, yeah,
yes, yeah, thank you. Yep, yep,
yeah,
yep. But yeah, Barbara Banda already one
yeah,
game in. He's like, all right, and there's the MVP race is on. Here we go.
right.
Yeah, it's a huge win, man. Hard to see many teams stopping that attack right now with
Hmm.
25 shots. It's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Paul, your Houston Dash fell short against Washington Spirits in front of a refreshingly large crowd at
Hmm.
Shell Energy Stadium. After going down 2-0 early in the first half, they almost clawed back,
Right.
but ultimately fell 2-1 to the 2024 runner-ups. Paul, what did you like from the Lean Queens?
The lean queens, bro. I love that. Sipping on
Bro, it's
purple
those purple
dog.
pit.
No, man. I think this is par for the course for Houston Dash. As much as I love them, I can't remember the last time they opened up their season with a W, which is just unfortunate to say. But I mean, Spirit are also kind of one of those teams that started strong. Obviously, they were in the NWSL final as well.
Mm.
Um,
Yep.
but yeah, I just hope for Houston's sake that they start getting some pieces that are getting cohesive early on in the season, because the season will move quick and it will quickly leave them behind if they don't figure out what they are going to do in terms of scoring goals. So,
Damn.
yeah,
Yeah.
just how it is, bro.
Exactly.
You want to talk about your wave, though?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
My
let's
San
get it.
Diego Wave, they earned a draw away at Angel City in a game that they truly dominated in every way, but the score. This is a very
Right.
Josh Wolf setup for this.
Yeah.
No, but it's my first. So this is my first NWSL opening weekend where I was like locked in, right?
Right.
Maggie and I are making dinner. We're watching the San Diego Wave game, and they
Mhm.
score immediately within 5 minutes. I think it was like they
Yeah.
score, and I was like, oh shit! Like, who is it?
It was
Cascarone is
Gia
the name. What's
Corley
the name?
was Corley that was
Corley
assisted by
scored, yeah.
Cascarino. Yeah.
Yeah, Cascarino.
Mhm.
Yeah, 5th-minute goal, and they kept that up. I mean, they got multiple other shots on target throughout that next stretch of play, and they were knocking on the door. They should have scored. Their keeper's locked in too.
Yeah.
Sheridan,
Kaylin
dude,
Sheridan.
she goes
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
It was just fun to watch, man. It's such a fun. This game specifically, right? It's a rivalry
Mhm.
game to start the season. It's away for San Diego, right? So they're at BMO, right, where
Yep.
Austin just whooped their male counterpart's ass the night
Right.
before,
Yeah.
or the day before, and it was fun to see, man. It was just a fun style of football. Like both teams are playing their ass off.
Yeah.
Lots of sprinting back and forth. Like you look down for a second, all of a sudden, ball's going the other
Thompson's
way.
just fucking flying down the wing.
Exactly. And she got a goal too. I mean, she earned it.
Yeah.
But I think San Diego should have won this game. It's a game that they'll look back on and be like, damn, that was 3 points. Like we should have had 2 or 3. They dominated across the board. That who was I sent you the Instagram reel of her, but the sub that came on with
Melanie Barcenas, dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude,
she's got techers, man. I'm telling you, she's a baller. Yeah.
It was awesome. I was like, oh shit. Like from her first touch, you're like, oh, she's different.
Yeah.
Like that's that indoor skill right there.
Exactly. A little futsal action.
All on a yo-yo string. It was sick, dude. No, it was a fun game though. I'm excited for the season. It's gonna be it's gonna be a good one, man. Also, shout out to NWSL for making viewing it very accessible. Yeah. I watched that game was on what was that? That was on ESPN Plus. I watched the Dash game on NWSL Plus, which is just their website. You just log in, you create an account, it's free.
Yep.
Every other game is on like basic satellite cable, like what you get on your TV.
Yeah.
The TV that comes with TV. It's sick, dude. They got it going. I know you've been saying this for years, but I see you looking. You're like,
Hey man, I'm just trying to spread the word, dude. I'm glad you're picking up.
Yeah, it was exciting. All right.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, tell the listeners what Push a Piece certified matchup of the week is this weekend.
Hell yeah, man. So looking ahead, I've got Gotham FC hosting Orlando Pride being the certified matchup to look out for. Gotham also one of those teams to look out for. Their story was, the dismantling of the super club that they thought was going to win the trophy last season. And so now what they're going to look like with this new team, against Orlando, who's just going to keep on rolling like they're champs. So it's going to be really interesting. That one kicks off Sunday, March 23rd, 4 p.m. Central. And since it's Sunday, I believe that one's going to be on ESPN, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right.
Yeah, ESPN Plus. So
yeah,
there you go. Yeah, gonna be a good one.
That's in WSL. We'll keep up with the season throughout the year, obviously. Stoppage, etc. We'll keep talking about it. We might check in monthly as well and do a little halftime just to see what's up. So
you know us, man.
Yeah, it's exciting, man.
Yeah.
We'll take a quick break. You'll hear from us regarding Memento, and then we'll be back to look at the San Diego FC matchup on Sunday.
Yo, Lobar, I was looking at your Memento from the game last Saturday, and that picture was fire, dude. Why don't you talk to the people and tell them about their new favorite app?
For sure, man. Memento is your sports scrapbook for Austin FC. Your games, your stats, your scores, a memento for every moment. Every memento is yours to personalize. Add your photos from Q2, tag the homies, and relive your unique experience. Every memento is packed with stats, so watch as your sports history grows as you add a memento for each game. From Austin FC to NWSL and NCAA to the Premier League, NFL, and NBA. Track your fan experience from the palm of your hand.
Help the pod out by downloading Memento today. Follow the link in our description or on our socials to start tracking your mementos. Thanks.
And we're back. Austin welcomes newcomers San Diego FC, aka my Shadow Club, to Q2 this weekend. They're undefeated to start their existence, and they've proven dangerous on the road. In just 2 away games, they've scored 5 goals, allowed only 1 goal, controlled 52% possession, shot 14 shots on target of 24 shots total, and have won both games. Dreyer has scored all 3 of his goals on the road this season and leads the team in goals scored, and the team has nabbed 3 goals in second half stoppage time alone. They control the game, create opportunities, and play hard through the final whistle. Paul, is it just me, or do expansion clubs look a little bit different these days?
Hey, look, man, yes, but your team can look like this if you don't go out and sign Rodney Redes as your first ever player in club history. I'll just say that.
Tough.
Yeah.
Tough.
But no, I mean, St. Louis.
Tell me more.
Yeah, St. Louis and obviously San Diego, they're off to a strong start. You could definitely tell that it helps not trying to like build out a team during COVID, which is obviously like when Austin was coming about. But
100%.
it's also just a thing where, you don't have to have the best players in every position. You just need players that are willing to like work the system that, the gaffer trains them with. And they're looking really good right now, to start off early. Hopefully the roster is built in such a way that can sustain that over the long ass MLS season. But at some point, I think this this Sunday, they're going to start to show a little bit of that maybe kind of weakness settling in a little bit. We're going to be missing some players. They're going to be missing some players, but ultimately, I mean, Q2 is, that's that fortress. And
it is.
I said earlier, bro, I think this is where we start getting our open play goals. So
yeah, we're Brandon Vasquez. I'm looking at you, dog. You mentioned availability concerns, right? For San Diego, no Chucky Lozano, no problem. What do you think will be the key to 3 points on Sunday afternoon for Austin?
It's got to be hitting first, dude. It's got to be hitting first, and then just controlling defense. You know what I'm saying? Like looking at the results, both from Portland and Colorado, those two losses. We were doing a really good job of keeping these teams at bay, but it takes one through ball, and in San Diego's case, it's Dreyer that's going to be looking to create and try and also finish these chances as well. So if we can keep him at bay, then I think we're going to have a good chance. But we also need to make sure that we're putting the ball in the back of the net on their side.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we'll be without Svatak. We'll be without Uzuni. We'll be without Leo Vaisanen, which doesn't really matter. And we'll get to that more in a minute. But
did you say Leo Vaisanen, bro? I like that.
Yeah. Well, at least Svatak and Uzuni, two guys who started last weekend, will be on international duty.
Correct.
So it's going to be a little bit of a makeshift roster.
Right.
All guys that started. Obrion's going to come in. Hopefully Julio's back. He's going to come in and start there, right? So two guys that have started already this year. But the depth will be suspect, right? I mean,
you're looking at some potential call-ups, right, for this one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like Riley Thomas last week, for example.
Exactly.
Another one of those. All that to say is, though, it's going to be a little bit of a different look for us, right, than what we had last week, what we had the week before, and what we had the week before that. Already like our third or fourth different lineup of the season with these changes.
Yeah.
So, my thought on that is that possession-wise, I'm assuming we'll likely have the ball. We'll want the ball. We'll want San Diego to not have the ball, right? Because they do well when they have the ball.
Yes.
Very simple terms I'm speaking here right now.
No, you're good.
No, I think truly, though, we will see us want to dominate the ball and dominate possession, make sure that we're creating opportunities early. I know we like to run, but without Uzuni, maybe Danny's in there. Maybe he's running. Maybe he's leading the counter in that way to push the ball.
Sure.
But I just don't see us looking as comfortable without our big man DP taking it up. So
right.
I don't know. I'm kind of just fumbling here through different thoughts of all the different things going through my head. I do think we'll end up with possession in this game, even though because San Diego does so well with the ball away. That should scare us. That should scare Nico to say, hey, let's not give them the ball, right? Our defense has been good so far. Let's not put them in a disadvantageous position with all these injuries. Having said that, Galley, pockets are deep. He can fit Dreyer in there and maybe a couple others, right? So, I expect us to have a tough matchup ahead of us, man. What are your predictions for this game?
Yeah, I've got us winning. I'm going to go a 2-1 result. Actually, I'm not going to go 2-1 because that's going to fuck up the feng shui a little bit. Just 2-0. 2-0.
2-0.
I think we've been doing a really good job. Obviously, the XGA, which is goals against, we've got a pretty low one, if I'm not mistaken. Last time I checked, what was that? 2.6.
Yeah, through 4 games.
So
right.
so we're being very stingy, right? Only 2 goals technically allowed right now, but San Diego, they're a little bit higher at 3.9. Also 2 goals against, but something tells me that with the number of missing players for them, it's just going to be a little bit too much to overmatch or to overcome, But
I'll be happy with the 2-0.
Yeah.
For me, I'm thinking 3-1 Austin. I truly think this is the game, even without Uzuni. I
Yeah.
know that's a bolder take because he'll be missing.
Right.
But I truly think this is the game where it kind of gels, right? Got rotation
Starts
guys
to
are going
see
to
it.
be
Yeah.
hitting. Yeah, we're still seeing rotation guys play, right?
Mm-hmm.
Danny, O'Brien, Wolf, etc. Like those are the guys that are going to fill in.
Yeah.
Assuming Julio's back too. I think we'll come out to an early 2-0 lead, like first 30 minutes. We'll nab two. They'll get one back, 2-1 going into the half, and then we ended up closing it out late with the subs on.
Yeah.
See guys like Fodry and others start contributing, and Nika or Dubasarski, like having those dudes come and contribute and help create a third goal for us. So
I like
getting
that,
real
man.
detailed
I like
this
that.
time. A little 3-1 action.
No, for
It's
sure.
gonna be a good game though, man. It's gonna be a fun game.
Yeah. No, I think I have to look back at the previous season in 2024 to remind myself that the last time we scored multiple goals at Q2 was our last game of the season last year against Colorado, that 3-1 win.
Yep.
So,
not too long ago, the grand scheme.
Nico, the players, por favor, please. Like, just make it fun, dude.
Yeah, right.
I say make it fun, but like if it's a dub, we'll take it, obviously.
Yes.
But I think that is the risk,
right?
If
it was fun.
Yeah, that's the risk of playing this style of ball. It's not going to be the most aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
But 2 out of 4 are W's right now. So
3 out of 5 incoming.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Let's get the stoppage.
Let's do it.
The MLS All-Stars, as announced today, will be facing the Liga MX All-Stars in Austin on July 23rd. We assumed, but it's official today.
Right.
What are your thoughts on this?
No camera cut. No, I think that's cool, dude. About to be, all I'm going to say is Rumberg, North Lamar, bro, those taco shops finna be bussing, dude. I'm just telling you that right now.
They better be. I mean, they always are. But
I mean, they are. But I'm just saying specifically that week, bro.
What is that? What's that gas station called outside Q2? I actually don't know the name of it. Surf?
The Sunoco?
Sunoco, yeah.
Yeah.
Those food trucks are going to be swamped.
Mm-hmm.
Pre-game, during the game, post-game.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be dope. I'm still waiting for a revival of the East-West idea. Eastern All-Stars versus Western All-Stars. The league is good enough now that eventually we can just have our own guys.
Mathematically, it makes sense with 30 teams, right? But that idea has been killed within me. It's just what it is, man. As much as I would have loved that, Don Garber does have a way of just making me feel sad.
Hopefully, if the League's Cups continues to do or gets more popular and does well, he won't have to force Liga MX's attention to MLS. So
I mean, respectfully, I kind of want Leagues Cup to die, but I feel that too. Anyway,
if I had to choose between Leagues Cup or East-West MLS All-Star Weekend, give me East-West.
Yeah, right.
Uzuni, Zvatak, Farkarlun, and Vaisanen headline Austin's national team call-ups this window. We spoke a little bit about this already in terms of its implications on the San Diego game. Right. But what do you have to say for the boys?
I think for me, honestly, with Leo Vaisanen, it's just interesting that he gets a call up without having seen any 2025 action. So there's something there that suggests that, they're trying to get him out or do something. But for Jimmy, that's awesome too. Another call up for Liberia. Love to see it. And, Svatak posted his little smiling self with the Ukrainian football camp. So I like to see our boy smiling because that's a rarity.
He deserves it. It. It'll make for an interesting game this weekend, but it is good to see that we have that quality of player on our roster.
True.
Again, right, where our DP is getting called up, right? Vasquez is on the fringe. Bukhari is a guy that could and should get call-ups consistently. So,
and sorry to interrupt, but correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Albania set to play against the Three Lions? Thomas Tuchel's first outing as
you're probably right. Honestly, I don't know. Let's find out right now.
That'd be hilarious, bro, if he fucking puts 3 up on Tommy Tuchel's. That's crazy, bro. I'm gonna watch that.
You never know. To be completely honest, Uzuni could be back. I doubt it, but he could be back for Sunday. Who knows? I know these games are all weekend, so like
Yeah,
this is their one game. This is their first game of the 10 game stretch, right? And they don't play another
correct.
one for a while.
Yeah,
So hypothetically, bro could be back,
feel
but
that
I assumed hard that he wouldn't be because you gotta chill with your boys. So
for sure.
we mentioned this already, kind of hinted at it already. Leo Vaisanen is rumored to be on the move to Swedish club BK Häcken
Haken. Mm-hmm.
to Sweden. So nothing league certain or club official, of course, but reputable news sources are talking about it, and
Mm-hmm.
our North End boys and We Are Awesome TV boys are talking about it. So I trust it. What are your thoughts on that?
When I saw Haken, it made me think of Johanna Kennerud from Chelsea because that was the club,
Oh
the
yeah,
women's
it
club
is.
that she had come from
My queen.
before joining Chelsea, and so I just thought that was a small little
All our
connection of
stars
dots
aligning.
there. But
Yeah,
good for Leo. He's heading back home, or
no,
not
he's from Finland.
Swedish. He's
Yeah,
Finland, but back
Scandinavia.
in Europe.
Yeah,
So good for him.
yeah, that's cool. Makes me a little nervous about our club.
Nah,
We're just losing depth. Granted,
nah.
Leo hasn't played for shit, but having a body available is always helpful when
But
half your defense is injured. So
okay, but time out though, time out because look at the contract. Remember this contract,
I agree. No,
it
I know.
it needed to go, brother, and
It's
and,
it's
and we
not
made it
Leo.
happen.
It's not Leo's absence making me nervous. It's the fact that we have now 4 center backs on the roster.
Right,
One's in Ukraine this weekend, or one's in Europe this weekend,
right,
and one is maybe coming back from injury.
yeah.
And
Your
so,
concern is valid, but it's also
well, no, we
important
only
to
have three
note.
center backs now without Vaisanen.
Yeah.
Math is hard. Yeah, we just have Julio, who may or may not be injured still,
Mm-hmm.
Svatak, who's not here, and Heinz Ike, who is playing his ass off. But
Yeah.
just lack of depth worries me when
We're
already Julio's injured.
fine, Lobar. We'll sign 2 center backs this summer, bro. How about that?
But that's in like
Shifu, bro.
that's in 4 months, dude.
Yeah.
We'll have played 60% of the season with 3 center backs if that's the case. Anyway, shit makes me worried. But
Yeah.
hell yeah,
Anyway,
contract or something.
right.
Vancouver Whitecaps are just the 7th team in MLS history to start a season with 4 straight wins. That's 30 years or 29 seasons, 20
Good.
to 30 clubs.
Good for them,
Just
bro.
insane.
Honestly, Vancouver they've been slept on for a minute. I think this is going to be a really good season for them to just start, continue, and end in a dominating fashion, bro. Because
Yeah.
yeah,
Love to see it. Let's see it. Didn't they fire Homeboy?
they did. They
Sartini,
did
whatever?
sack Sartini, which is
Dang.
kind of the sad thing about it because, like, I think he was perfect for them, but
Yeah.
um,
Now they're killing it without him.
they're doing fine. They're doing
No
fine.
fault
Although
to
they
him.
are without Ryan Gauld for a little bit.
Sure.
He picked up a injury. I think that was also in CCC play, but
Tough.
see how they do.
Yeah. Anyway, great start for them. Just the 7th team ever to do it in 29 years.
Yeah,
That's impressive. So
massive.
we'll follow how that goes. But as long as they lose to Austin, I don't give a shit.
Exactly right.
The U.S. men's national team Nations League roster was announced this past week, among many others. But, it's our
Yep.
nation. So let's talk about it.
Let's do it.
What stands out from Pochettino's squad?
Sorry, man. I got to keep going back to Vancouver here, but Brian White as an inclusion for the forward core,
Sure.
I think is really
Sure.
cool. But obviously, I doubt that he's going to see a whole lot of minutes here because you're looking at,
Yeah.
Tim Weah, Pulisic, Josh Sargent, who's always randomly in my Twitter feed, like,
Yeah.
this carrot head's done
Knocking
all
on
this
people and
scoring, and I'm like,
camping.
bro, he
Yeah.
doesn't do this in a U.S. kit, but whatever.
No, I know. It's
Yeah. How
interesting
about
that he
you?
gets
How about
to
you?
talk
Who are you
over-
excited for?
No, I thought that was a good point. I had the Brian White thing noted as well because he's
Yeah.
only had 3 caps ever. He does have a goal. Shout out to the man.
Mhm.
But there's many other guys we've seen more often, like Haji Wright and those types of dudes that
Correct.
would normally be getting call ups. So
Yeah.
shout out to Brian White, even Vasquez, right?
Mhm.
In the short term or in the past couple of years windows. So, no, I thought the Serie A love is always appreciated. Half our team is in Serie A vibing. So Just a fun little crossover to follow. A lot of MLS guys, a lot of Italian dudes, and then the big leagues, French and Europe guys, or French and English dudes, club guys coming in. Some names I don't really know. Tanner Tessman. Who's that? He's gotten 6 caps. That's what's up. Cook on them boys. Right. Like, I don't know your name.
Tanner Tessman is like one of those fringe, like bubble, national team players. But he's
Marlon Fossey. Who's that?
Right.
I don't know. Cook on them boys, dude. Show out for your nation. That's what's up. It's fun to see Pochettino play around a little bit. I guess that's the point. He's brought in some usual suspects and obviously the big names. But who are these guys? And why are they here over what's that for the striker that we brought in for last window from England? He was English, now he's American. Falarin. I was like, Foraloon, that's not right. Yeah. Like, where's he at? He might be injured. I don't follow close enough. But Agumang and White getting call-ups over those dudes just makes me chuckle.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Agumang,
yeah.
Although I will say, regardless of these players selected, I just hope Poch wins this shit because he needs to lift silverware as soon as possible, so that way this country and this team starts getting that winner mindset heading into this World Cup window. But
yes, sir.
Whatever.
Good point. I want Uzuni to get a goal, but dunk on them boys.
Yeah, exactly.
Dunk on Albania. Let them know what's up.
Yeah.
As always, we'll close it out with Chelsea. Chelsea men's fall 1-0 to Arsenal away, London derby. Let's not talk about that, though. Chelsea women's take home the Women's League Cup trophy in a 2-1 win against Man City. That was their first of 4 straight matches against Man City, all meaningful. And they got the dub. You like to see them start that way. What are your thoughts on Chelsea right now?
Bon Pastor's first of 4 trophies available to lift this season. So the quadruple is still on. Love to see it. They break the League Cup final curse, having lost the last 3 iterations of the final. But winning this one, and so let's move on. Let's keep it going. Let's beat them in Champions League. Let's beat them in the league, and beat them again in Champions League to move on to the semifinal.
Love it. And that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind.
Respectfully, the ladies over at Queef Pod said that, we weren't going to do a whole lot and Bunny Shaw was going to score some goals. Not happening. I'm sorry.
So far.
The Blues ladies are doing the thing, okay?
Yep.
Anyway.
Yep. That they are. I do want to mention just a little through line from my Austin FC worries, right?
Yes.
Chelsea men's, they're suffering from a lot of injuries, a lot of unavailability. It's not looking too hot for them right now. We're having Pedro Neto start as striker more often than I like to see,
right?
Because all our strikers are gone or injured. So it's a tough look for our boys right now, but they'll come through. We're still sitting in Champions League contention. We're still there. So, all we got to do is stay 4th and I'll be happy.
Right. And truly, even I think at this point, 5th will be enough to secure a Champions League spot. But
exactly, yes, because of the change in the
coefficient allocation.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, I mean, shit. But what were you on 49 points with how many games left? 8,
9 7? Or 8? Yeah, something like that. I can't remember.
Like that.
Yeah.
And so last year we had 63, and Poch's last year. He got fired. So you got to start winning some games or it's, looking like.
Bro, he's not going to get fired. That's the thing.
No. I know that. I'm not saying he's going to. I'm just saying, people talked all that shit last year.
Right.
Made it to Conference League. Now we're doing better, but we got to keep it up or it's all of a sudden slipped away in the last half of the season.
Correct. No, I feel that.
Anyway, just Austin signed a center back. It's making me nervous because my other clubs did not, and now they're struggling. Let's close it out, bud.
Let's do it, man.
All right. We appreciate y'all kicking it with us on this week's episode of the Verdependent Podcast. I'm Logan Bartlett. Catch me on Twitter at LobarVHLM.
And I'm Paul Fletes. You can catch me on Twitter at PaulAndrewFC.
It's a government name. It is. And then keep the chatter going online by following at the Verdependent on socials. That's an episode. Nothing else to it.
Yep.
We cooked it up. Hopefully y'all enjoy it.
Yes.
And we'll see y'all next week. Paul, why are you screaming at me?
Oh my God.